And yeah, here to help us with that.
That and more.
In year 2 of his head coaching tenure for our Sac State Hornets, which Jason Ross is a longtime voice of, we're very, very excited to welcome in once again, take it on. Oh God, I hate these guys.
You hate the Spartans?
I hate this. I hate the Spartans. I hope they kick the you-know-what out of them. It is Coach Andy Thompson. Andy, it's Dave. You know Jason as well. How are you this morning?
Doing great. It's game week. We're a couple days away from kicking off this season, and I'm excited to be on your guys' show. You guys do a great job.
Appreciate that. It's, I remember last year having you on, all the momentum, a couple of huge wins last year. It was really a fun season for the most part. But what's the difference, if any, in Andy Thompson now as opposed to when we talked to you last year in your what we would say the rookie year, if you will?
Oh, man. Lot, I would say. I hope I'm improving every day. That's what I ask of my players, and I've learned a lot year one. It's a challenging job, but man, is it fun. Get a chance to try to impact a lot of people. Our organization just keeps on growing here as far as how many players we have on the team. Now we have 117 players. Our support staff, they made a rule where now anybody can help you coach out at practice. They used to only give you 12 guys, but now you can have unlimited. So we've got a lot of people that have volunteered their time or that are just starting the profession that come out and help us. So trying to be organized with that, and then, still engage and have real conversations with your players as a head coach, because you don't get a chance to, have that position group all the time. So always something to do, but it's a lot of fun.
Before Jason gets to his important question, I have a typical stupid question. You said how many? 100 and how many?
We have 117 on our roster.
Okay, and I'm putting you on the spot, but about approximately how many of them are new, would you say?
Yeah, that's a great question. Probably 40.
Okay.
45. There was 95 here all summer working out in the Sacramento heat. So we had some guys that started, a little bit later that are freshmen that are coming on, and that's including walk-ons. That's including, I got a guy that's, on his 7th year of college football, and I got a guy that, is 17 that hasn't even turned 18 that's in the program. So that's the unique thing of college football is you really have some wide ranges because of the COVID still out there as far as guys having years. So yeah, you got to keep them all happy.
Here's where I'm heading. So I don't know that I know 117 people. So I'm assuming
you definitely do. You're well known in this area.
If they all walked into your office one by one right now, I'm assuming you'd know all their names.
Yes.
But do you have to do like tricks or something because you got to learn names in a really short time, Coach, plus all the other X's and O's. I feel like this is an underrated part of being a college football coach. You have to know
family members and all that.
Right. You have to know 117 players, and 40-something of them are brand new. Do you have like a linebacker rhymes with die and his name is Fred? Like, how do you do that?
You got a lot of these charts. I think I can show you one, so that's just the defensive side of the ball. And then you got an offensive one, and then you got multiple kickers. So definitely a challenge. I do think, the time we spend together, though, especially in the month of August, we just, we finished our 20th practice yesterday, 21. Sorry, they're all running together, but we do spend a lot of time in the month of August. 2/3 of the entire, your practices for the entire season are in the month of August. A lot of people don't know that about college football. So we have plenty of time to get to know each other's name. The real big deal is, these years are longer now. There's 12-game season. And then in our level, if you want to win the national championship, you got to play 4 more. So that's 16 games. And so you have to have depth, and you've got to have depth throughout your program. And that's something we've continued to improve. As we've been here now, I've been here, and some of the guys have been 6 years in since 2019, and we're trying to do that. Obviously, college football is changing by the hour. Sometimes it feels like, and by the week on the rules. And I was listening before you guys got in here, the salary cap and talking about how you have to maneuver. And we spend a ton of time on that because we can have 63 scholarships, but we can break those up to 85. So we're always looking at, okay, where's this guy in his career? And then how can we help? Do we need to bring an older guy in, a younger guy in? So constant talking about your roster and where you're at, and making sure that you have enough strong players so that you can make a full season run.
Yeah, and then how about that adjustment? You said that it's constantly changing. The portal is still relatively new. You lost a few, but you gained a few. I don't know when players tell you they may depart the program and others that you bring in. How much of a challenge is kind of dealing with now that reality of the transfer portal?
I think you either, as a college football coach, one of the best things you'd have to have is be able to adapt. If you don't adapt, you're going to die, or you're going to get fired. Which they fired 32 head coaches last year just at the FBS level. So I say that not because, I'm a football coach. I get to coach for a living. I'm very thankful. But you do have to adapt with the different times. So, there's a transfer window in January where they can come in and say, hey, Coach, I'd like to do another spot. And then they have it again in April. And the April one's probably the hardest because, again, in April, you've just spent 16 weeks kind of building your team. And then somebody can say, I'd like to go somewhere else. And so that was probably the biggest adjustment this year. We had a couple guys at the, end of their career that decided to do that. That's the first time, and that was just two of them. But we were able to, create a new opportunity and had some guys that came in and are going to help us. So, there's pluses and minuses to everything. But I do think you got to adapt.
The great Andy Thompson, head football coach, Sac State Stingers Up, joining us right now as we do our yearly season preview, if you will. And, of course, you can hear Jason Ross on that call for the 53rd consecutive
Wow.
year. Congratulations on that. Coach, I'm going to go back. So I'm just fascinated with the psychology of college football and how it works, and especially somebody in your position. Mm-hmm. You're a mentor, you're a leader, you're a friend. And obviously you're a coach, and that's all part of that. So you mentioned 40-something newbies running in this year, and obviously the portal and everything gives it a whole different ballgame. Which outweighs the other? The heartbreak, or I shouldn't say heartbreak, the sadness of seeing kids, young men, that you've been in their living rooms, you've talked to their parents, you've gotten to know them moving on, or the excitement of bringing in these new faces that you're just getting to know?
Challenging question. I would say both, in the fact that you like to see kids that work really hard get an opportunity to do what they want to do. I truly believe that they do deserve that because of how much they put into it. But it is hard when somebody moves on. And so you kind of that's like a bad loss. It stings. It makes you hurt in your stomach for, a couple hours. And then you kind of got to get up the next day and go, hey, what do we got to do to move forward? The only thing I'm a little cautious of being too critical of players because my career, when I played, I had 3 head coaches and I had 5 different position coaches. And so this was 20 some years ago. I'm pretty old on that regard. So this has been happening with the coaches, getting other opportunities, or administration deciding they want to go in a different direction. And that has affected players. I know it affected my career, never having the same position coach 2 years in a row. So I just don't think it was reported on. And now it's being reported on because players have the freedom to move. And I think if you can keep guys together, obviously you have a chance to get better because you are connected. But I do think every year is different, and every year you got to get that group together and you got to go all in and you got to try to do your very best. And I think you see it at every level, pro sports, doesn't matter what sport it is. It's kind of a 1-year deal. And then everybody looks at each other and says, hey, I'm going to either be in again for the next year or I'm not, so.
Yeah. Coach, how about then this year? You said at year 6 for you, you guys missed the 1 year for COVID, but every year you've been here, whether you were the defensive coordinator or now the head coach, the Hornets have made the postseason. You come in with a top 10 ranking. Expectations have been lifted because the program has been lifted. How have you managed that as you get ready to start this season, where there's some high hopes, but you also got to, kind of ground the team? How do you manage expectations?
We try to do it with really, daily routine. We got to get into routine, and we got to build our habits, and hopefully we're building successful habits that are going to take us through a long period of time. And so is really no trick other than trying to get these guys on a really good schedule and making them feel as confident as possible that they're prepared for every part of the game and in their life. And so we try to be mentors that way and build schedules that are reasonable. That's a big word for me. Kids will do a lot of things for you if they feel like it's reasonable. If you're crazy, yeah, they're going to say, nah, I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and not do that. So we try to work, a really good schedule, and then we try to make sure they're fed really well, and we try to make sure that they've got a great place to live and that they can improve if they've got those things in place. And our administration's done a good job of supporting us in our school, and excited to be around Sac State because there's a lot of new things going on, and there's a lot of great energy. The students are back this week, and we had a big barbecue. There was 10,000 people in the quad here at Sac State, doing the Cupid shuffle with Coach Wood up there. I mean, it was pretty lively. So it's a fun place to be. I do think our program is trying to continue to improve. You asked about expectations. Whatever expectations are out there, I can tell you the people that are in this building have high ones for themselves because of how hard they work. So nobody wants to go out there and not play well. So we're always going to be critical of how we're doing that. And we're trying to bring our best every day. That's kind of our theme going forward, is if we bring our best every day, we can look ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, it was a good day.
Well, we'll end on this note then. Speaking of expectations, 8-5 last year, I believe. Coach, what are your realistic expectations from this version of this team this year?
Yeah, I think we always want to chase championships. If you're not into chasing championships, I don't know why you're in the business. So we always would love to win the Big Sky Championship. And then, yeah, we've been to the playoffs, and that's been great, but we're always going to try to expand that and take a run and try to go win a national championship on January 6th. So those are always going to be there. The exciting part is we've got a lot of kids that have put forth a tremendous amount of time, and Thursday night we'll get some feedback on where we're at. I think that's the biggest thing in college. You don't get any preseason games. Mm-hmm. These all count. They all go towards your resume at the end of the year. And then if you do a real good job, the committee says, hey, you get to keep playing. So we'll get some feedback on Thursday on where we're at as a program, and we'll keep going.
Stingers up, baby.
Yes.
We appreciate you each and every year coming on. Please check in with us during the year if you have time. And as always, good luck. Stingers up.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason. We'll see you soon.
Yep. Thanks, Coach.
Your Chick-fil-A will be ready before getting on the bus.
Yes.
NIL deal. Jason Ross.
Yep,
See you, brother. Have a good one,
Coach.
You got a QR code on your headset or something? Or
Can't